Here we are. It's Thursday. Time for the Down the Local show.
It is indeed.
Bang off the music, because nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to hear our dulcet tones. Let's be honest. So yeah, Thursday, episode 8. It is episode 8. I fucked up.
Yeah, not 7.
I fucked up.
7 as advertised. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very often that you hear someone involved in football, counting themselves down one. But
No.
Hey, I mean,
Maybe
Rivaldo done
Femi
it with all
Martin's
this.
done it.
Sorry.
Maybe Femi Martin's done it.
Yeah,
Counted
true.
himself down to 10, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. It was about, when he was 28, something like that, when he signed for Newcastle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bastard, sneaky bastard.
Dubious.
Yes. He's a dirty rascal, that boy. So, I mean, the first thing I wanted to ask you, Neil, is what are you drinking tonight? Since it's down
Do
the
you know
local
what?
show,
I am on the bud, but I am on the bud with the
with a
don't know
very
how
special
well we can
gift
see that.
from an avid viewer.
Trying to get the camera at
Yeah,
the right angle.
can't really.
There we go.
Yeah, you could just about see it.
There's a few second delay, so when I move it, I can't then walk out. There we go. And then make sure I don't pour it all over the laptop.
Yeah,
Down the local
that'd be a good way
with
to
Neil.
start.
Loving it.
I know.
Loving it.
Man, I feel like a celebrity now.
From the number one fan.
Yeah,
Number
it's
one
incredible.
fan, is it?
Been here for all 8 episodes. I'm sure kicking my ass saying it's not 7, it's 8. But like I said, I feel like it has been 7. Just I don't know. I'm just out of it. What can I say? This Twitch thing's going just so quick. Can't believe it. I don't know how we're on to 8 episodes. I honestly don't.
It's only 4 weeks, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
2
but-
weeks, so 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks. But still, it just feels like this is the second week.
Yeah.
The time goes so
but-
quick. But hey,
It does.
when you're drinking beer and talking
It's-
about football, that's what happens, right?
Well, exactly. Exactly. I mean, who would have thought it was 8 weeks, 9 weeks since we were in the Gordon?
I know. Man. God damn it. I want to get back to the Geordie.
9 weeks since we were drinking copious amounts and playing free pool
Yeah.
with a moving table.
Yeah. Copious amounts of blackcurrant. A few coffees.
Yes.
And, yeah, of course. 'Cause,
Oh, no, I'm talking about your wedding.
Oh, okay,
I'm
yeah.
talking about a wedding with the free table of pool
Yeah,
and the moving
Oh,
that
that's so
slid
good.
around.
Oh, and all the Blanc Vin I could drink.
Yeah, and the Le Coupe du Monde. Oh, no, it wasn't, was it? It was the Coupe de France.
I don't know. It was incredible. I know, man, I just don't know where time goes. I really don't. Then to think I'm married, shit.
I know.
What happened there?
Just think, a week after.
Yeah.
We would have been,
Mate, we would have been stranded
wouldn't
in
have happened,
France.
no?
Crazy, man.
That's very true. We would have been stuck in France, yeah.
But to be fair, we'd been stuck in France with free pools, so
Exactly. And
So
good
actually-
alcohol.
yeah. Do you know what? Take me back.
Yeah. I mean, Coop would be a very broken man on that elephant.
Yeah, bless him. God, that was strong stuff. That was. God
It
damn.
was
Yeah, he was.
to say it was hardcore was an
Poor boy.
understatement.
Feeling a bit worse for wear the next day, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my heart went out to him a bit. Poor lad. Poor lad.
Mine almost came out of my top when I was having to carry him out for the
Oh,
photos.
really? Oh, the poor guy. The poor guy. So, I mean, just before we came on air, I wanted to obviously bring up the point that the Premier League have been speculating on ideas to get us back playing, the end of this season, to play out this season, to get the games finished so we got a legitimate end to this Premier League season. I picked up on something that Gary Neville and Graham Souness were talking about last night, about when players in new, not necessarily rules, but the advice that they're being given is when football gets back playing, when they make a tackle, they're supposed to, as they're sort of stepping up, walking away from the tackle, they have to face away from the player and essentially try and avoid breathing on them. Can you see in any way how that's going to work?
So
'Cause I
not actually when they go in for the tackle. But
No,
when
apparently when they
up
go
and
in for the
walk
tackle,
away.
yeah, they can look at the ball and obviously see where the ball is, because otherwise you might as well play blind football. But apparently
Yeah.
once you go in for the tackle, as you're walking away from it, you have to walk away and turn away from the player and basically immediately try and go back to that 2 meters distance.
That's ridiculous.
What the fuck is
if they're
going to
start throwing these, if they're going to start throwing in these caveats and things like that, it's going to make a mockery. What do you do at corners?
This is exactly the argument. So what are you supposed to do at corners? How can you social distance at a corner?
I mean, Liverpool will be all right. They zonal mark anyway. But everyone else, everyone else does corners properly.
And to be fair, you could just put Virgil van Dijk in there and he'd clear every corner. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but
no, it's just
farcical,
ridiculous. They'll start giving free kicks for people being too close to each other.
Yeah, I mean that's the point where it's going to get to, and it's just, and I mean it's just so infuriating that listening to what sort of Gary and Graham were saying, all of this stuff that's coming out in the media is just. It's sort of like, oh, well, I've got an idea, and then they write it in the paper and then send it out. And the Premier League are not behind any of it. It just sounds like it's just sort of false information that keeps coming out.
They've got to write something, haven't they?
Yeah, I know, but...
So let's make up some ridiculous things. I saw something earlier, and it's now got to the point where you've got these EPL invitationals, where you've got players, ex-players... celebrity fans, that sort of thing, playing against each other on FIFA, and they're doing tournaments for that. Yeah. Now, there was a conversation I heard earlier on a footballing podcast on the BBC, and they were saying about increasing the number of substitutions available and this, that, and the other. Yeah. Now, it got to the point where I couldn't work out whether they were talking about this EPL Invitational or when football comes back.
Yeah.
It's almost like the esports is taking over.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, it's nice to have some kind of sport going on. It's nice to have... Yeah. But at the same time, it's got nothing to do with football. Like, it's just a game. Like, yeah, you know, and I don't know. You know, there's professional sports players that play that. Leave them to it. You know, maybe we should be watching that instead of getting these celebrity guests on there. I mean, like on Twitch, you got that bloke from the In-Betweeners. He's on here all the time, so you know,
I've seen him a few times.
Sit there watching him all the time. It's just like, well, I don't know. You know, it's a similar thing with this sports. I mean, they're just trying to make something that's valid to the Premier League to get people back watching. I don't know. It's crazy. Fucking crazy.
Yeah. Oh, Fabio.
Arturo Vidal, thank you.
Apparently you Vidal. Look at
I need the tram lines. Claire really wants to put tram lines in my hair. So, yeah, I just need the tram lines. I might let her do it.
No. What?
I don't know. I also need a tan as well. I need the Fabio tan. That's what I need.
I was going to say, if you're going for the Vidal look, then you definitely need more of a tan.
Fake tan. Fabio, you got any fake tan lying around I can borrow?
Fabio, don't need fake tan.
I don't know. He looked pretty ropey in that Instagram picture. Sorry, Fabio. Sorry. But I'm taking that as a compliment, Neil. I'm sorry. He's suggesting I have hair,
no,
so you know I'm going to take that.
That's a good start, yeah.
But I mean, going back to this whole okay, so when you're making a tackle, you then have to look away from the player or some shit like this. In what way does that? You know, I don't know. There's so many other more functional ways of making the game safer. I mean, I said to Claire earlier on, can they not just wear masks? You know, like the facial masks that people are wearing when they go to shop.
Why
Surely
not?
That's a better start.
Yeah, cut up some socks, get those socks around the face.
I mean, there's quite a few players I'd like to fucking stuff a sock down their neck, but you know, fucking pricks. But
the masks, there's no reason why they can't go with the masks. I mean, people they've worn a face mask with fractured cheekbones and things like that, don't they?
That's exactly the point I was getting at. Yeah, exactly. You know, and they do altitude training, so they'll wear those sort of inhibitors for breathing. You know, that you know what oxygen they do take in, it's more beneficial for their bodies. So to wear one of these facial masks that NHS staff are wearing, it's no big deal. So why can't we start with that?
No.
With something that's actually, you know, a functional, you know, and a I don't know, something that's actually beneficial to the game. It means we get back playing. They wouldn't struggle to breathe.
I mean, turning the face away when you're going for a tackle. I've been doing that for years. I don't want to get kicked in the face.
Yeah, I know.
But from that point, but equally, you then get up and you have a ruck with someone, don't you? So, you know, if that's banned as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it depends who's tackling you when you tend to look away, doesn't it? But I just think that there's so many other, better ways of looking at this instead of coming up with fucking stupid tin pot ideas like that. It's just farcical.
But as you say, that is a journalist who's got nothing better to write and has come up with some absolutely farcical process.
I can't remember who
everyone's wearing masks, yet they've jumped beyond masks to something stupid like that. Which doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm just going to try and find out who it was who wrote it, because it was obviously someone who's never played football before. Put it that way. Because, like I say, to suggest something like that, they've never played the game before.
I think what they could do, they could just wear gas masks, oxygen tank on the back, run around. Brilliant.
Yeah, play football underwater.
If you're going to be stupid, go whole hog.
Yeah, let's go fucking full on stupid. But either way, is there any reasonable measures that you would suggest to get us back playing football?
The masks and maybe the gloves are the only things you can really do. Let's be fair, after that, people are covered anyway. I think they were talking about disinfecting the ground or disinfecting the grass, but that's not going to work.
It won't grow.
Every time you name a squad or you name the players, anyone going into that ground gets tested.
Yeah.
If people are clear, they play,
and
everything carries on.
Yep.
If they've got it, they don't go in the ground, or they don't go in the stadium.
Well, surely
it's as easy as that.
And clubs are going to bring in their own testing, surely. So that non-playing staff are going to be tested before that they can re-enter the training facilities, and players can be tested before they re-enter. Because all it takes is one person to infect that whole club, and then that's it.
The issue you're going to have always, though, is that the club will not all clubs will put the safety of the players and others first. They will. Some of the clubs will put the finances first, because let's be fair,
still business.
You can get a VW to give a decent emissions test. You can fudge the results of the testing for corona. You can blasé that. You're fine. Don't worry about it. In you go, son. It's only a little bit.
But do you think seriously in the Premier League something like that? They can't. If they're as tight on drug testing like they were with Rio Ferdinand that time, surely they've got to be tight with this.
But that was to set an example. With this, how do you set an example if someone's ill? They're doing the testing for corona. Yes, in theory, they've got to follow the rules. If they're saying to people, do you know what? If anyone shows symptoms, they can't play. But the symptoms are so widespread.
Yeah. But I don't know. As you say, I think they've got to have mandatory testing, and it's got to be done by an independent board.
Yeah.
As you say, to make sure that this
and
is
that
fair.
Should be done. Yeah, and it should be done at the training ground. It should be done when training resumes.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anything. But then you go back to the whole point of footballers getting the privileged treatment. They're all getting tested. Other people are stuck at home, can't get tested.
Yeah, say NHS staff and.
It's not like anyone's benefiting from the games. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's benefiting from the games apart from those guys being paid still.
Keep saying they should. Sorry.
There's so many. Go on.
So I keep saying they should try and finish this season, not start next season until fans are allowed in. The only thing is how long is that going to take? He's got a perfect good point that football isn't the same without fans. And I think it's not right to play football games without the fans there. But at the same time, would you take a season without fans being there if it meant season or no season? I don't know. It's
just throwing it out there to Coop. Did he see the interview today or yesterday with Stuart Webber, where he was saying football shouldn't start again? There should be no promotion and relegation, and we just start the season again in August or September when we're over the worst of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're in a precarious situation as well down, with Norwich, but
all the teams down the bottom end are going to say, stop the season now.
Yeah.
No promotion, no relegation. But there's been more thrown into the hat around having a 22-team league next season. But then what happens when you've got more games to play, and if all of a sudden we do start and this season gets wiped out and we start again in August, September, if we then hit a second spike, then what?
Yeah, exactly. What do we do then?
All the games are stopped again, and you've got 22 teams that are going to have an issue. Do you then turn around and go, well, actually, we'll do the same again next year, and you end up with 30 teams in the Prem?
Well, yeah, this is it. At what point do you draw the line? I mean, how far, down the road do we look? 'Cause, I mean, we're going to get a second spike, surely. Every other country's getting it.
Yeah, there will be a second spike if it's not managed properly.
So, I mean, we're the second worst hit country in the world now, aren't we? In the world. Yeah. So, we're
the worst per capita. So.
Sorry.
The worst per capita, I think.
Worst per capita, yeah. So I mean, we're far from out of the woods yet. With the sort of the relax on the lockdown, that's got absolutely nothing to do with anything, frankly.
Well, there isn't really a relax, is there?
No, there ain't. No. I mean, if people are seriously thinking that's this over and done with, then you're part of the problem, basically.
Yeah.
In the words of John McClane.
But yeah. There is online. It says they are going to have more meetings and more will be said on Monday.
Like pointed out, I think because the Bundesliga, the German Bundesliga, resumes again this weekend. I think they're waiting to see how that behaves itself.
Yeah.
And then,
it was always the 18th of May that it was going to be reviewed, but I think we may see a more not positive, a more definitive response based on how the games go at the weekend.
Yeah. So as you say, I think the Bundesliga is going to be a bit of a guinea pig, really, for the way that football leagues are going to resume.
It'll be interesting to see as well, because in Germany, some of the teams are essentially built on their fans.
Yeah.
More so than in England. I mean, you think of, you've got Borussia Dortmund, you've got the yellow wall. I mean, Liverpool have got the Kop, but it's not the same as it once was.
No, I mean it's better now than what it has been for the last sort of 2 decades or so. Now that Liverpool are performing more at the level. Well, I mean they're back to where they used to be.
But the Kop was always about having all the fans stood up on the terraces. Yeah. Sort of the swarm of people coming forward, which hasn't necessarily worked in their favour at points in time. But yeah, it's definitely. It was that kind of atmosphere, which you don't get now at a lot of games. You get a lot of noise, but you don't get that sort of surge of energy.
No, I was going to say, there's no longer that sort of intimidation of going to a football ground. I think a friend of mine who's a Chelsea fan said he went to Goodison Park a few years ago. He said it was so shit, the atmosphere, he ended up throwing his stick of celery at someone. which is an all-time low.
I'd just throw a stick of celery away. Pointless. Going with friends with salad.
Hey, I knew you'd point that out. See how I lined that up? You knocked it down?
Every opportunity. Every time I get the opportunity. Get rid of that salad. I was just having a look earlier as well. I saw something else come up. And obviously with the return of the Bundesliga, they then started looking at... I think that loads of people are suddenly going to tune into BT Sport to watch all of the German games this weekend and things like that. And they were saying, what... If you're going to watch, which team should you support based on your team you support in the UK?
Oh, really?
Or the team you support in England? Yeah. So, Manchester United fans should be supporting Bayer Leverkusen.
No. Oh, damn.
Historic history, but a bit naff at the moment.
You got one good player.
It gets better. It gets better. Arsenal fans should be supporting Schalke.
Oh, well, I like Schalke.
Yeah. Who else have we got on? Fabio, who's your English team? Has Fabio got an English team?
I mean, if he doesn't,
anyone
then
who wears
I can't
red?
really blame him.
Oh, I don't know. I just, I wanted him to join in.
Chelsea fans?
Villa. Chelsea fans. Villa is Werder Bremen. Again, decent team.
Used to be.
Gone downhill big time.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of Kevin De Bruyne playing for them. No, sorry, he was at Wolfsburg, wasn't he? Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. I thought
Diego was at Werder Bremen. He was fantastic for a while.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Man
Jesus Christ.
Leverkusen then.
Damn, Fabs. We're now Leverkusen fans.
I am not even seeing Chelsea on this list.
Going back to Leverkusen, that's where Arturo Vidal started out. So hey, Fabs, see what we did there? Yeah. It's a link back.
Yeah.
It's amazing how this show works.
Chelsea may not be on this list. There's only 18 teams in the Bundesliga, isn't there? So I think they've
Liverpool
looked at
got to
this
be
and gone.
Bayern.
Liverpool, no, Liverpool, Dortmund.
What? Why?
Man City are buying.
Why?
Man City are buying all the money side of it.
Yeah, but Bayern have been successful for God knows how many years, and Man City have had, a decade.
Yeah, but Liverpool haven't even had that yet, have they?
Yeah, they have. Fucking hell. Go back to all the 70s and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. But over the last decade, the last 20 years... That's what I mean.
Liverpool got history, like Bayern Munich have. Man City have got no history.
They've got history. It's not great, but they've got history.
What I mean. Oh, no one talks about fucking Man City in the 80s, do they?
Or the 90s.
Yeah. See what I'm getting
Well, you
at?
talk about Man City in the 90s because it was entertaining.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Norwich, a Paderborn.
Paderborn. Damn.
Which just reminds me of somewhere that like Winnie the Pooh or someone would live. Yeah, it just doesn't sound like a real place, does it? It sounds like a made-up thing in a kid's book.
Or Eeyore used to call his little shack, Paderborn.
Yeah. Just I can picture it now, an etching in a piece of wood.
Oh dear, Paderborn's fallen over again.
With the R back to front or the E back to front or something like that. Yeah. Jesus.
Oh dear. How have we gone
on the flip side,
from COVID to Winnie the Pooh? What has happened?
Oh, I know.
Damn, is these glasses?
On the flip side, though, Norwich is definitely a real place.
Is it?
Well,
I like to think it's not at the minute. Paderborn have Sabeni.
Be a real place than Paderborn.
Hey, look at that. That's a link. Very good. Dennis Sabeni.
Paderborn have Sabeni. Well, I'll tell you what, they don't even note that in their Coop. You need to be writing up on here, man.
Mate,
this
honestly,
website,
you could be a BBC reporter, Coop.
Sky Sports, this is.
Sky Sports reporter.
Go up in the world.
I don't know. It's a bit.
It's where Piglet lives. There we go.
Piglet lives in Paderborn. Fuck it. Neil, what's this show turned into? Jesus Christ, I thought we were here to have serious football debates.
It's still my favourite joke that I made up.
You made up a joke
for kids where
tell everyone the joke.
I'm not allowed to swear. They wanted a joke about the toilet humour joke, and obviously I wasn't allowed to swear. So it was why does Piglet hang around the toilet?
I don't know. Why does Piglet hang around the toilet?
Because he's waiting for poo.
Hey, hey,
Love it. Kids thought it was fantastic.
That's a cracker. And you made that up?
Yeah. It's interchangeable as well. I mean, you get them all there. Tigger's hanging around the bog for a little while.
Well, yeah,
Eeyore has a little stick.
Ooh, because you've been spending too much time bouncing. Dirty bastard. Anyways, so
yes.
Okay, Bundesliga. You're supporting Werder Bremen. I've now adopted Leverkusen.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's a shame that they did do it for the K League because I mean that's already off and running. I'm sure I would be
Special K League,
Jean Book Motors or something. Yeah, the Special K League, Jean Book Motors or
Hyundai Swissong Blue Wings or whatever they're called.
Yeah, they got some great names. It's almost as good as the South African team names.
Oh yeah, like Kaiser Chiefs.
Kaiser Chiefs, Orlando Pirates.
Yeah, I predict a riot at their games. hey, oh, fucking sharp, ain't I?
I don't think you can narrow that down just to the football matches in South Africa.
No, I know that's also a factual joke. That one.
Yeah, is it accurate as well as comical? Oh dear.
Did you know in the Chilean league there's a team called O'Higgins?
I did.
Yeah,
I did know that.
I've been desperately trying to get one of their shirts.
Did you also see a couple of years ago one of the teams? I think it was in the Chilean league that released a kit that was a dinner jacket, tux.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
It was either the Chilean league or Peruvian league or something like that. It was definitely one of the not big leagues. But yeah,
I recall seeing it. Yeah, shit.
It's one of those. What the hell were they thinking?
They want to be dapper.
Mate, no, they look like idiots.
Funny enough, actually, remember that, because that brings me on to a point that we're going to come on to in a minute about our flop signings, which we'll be on to in just a second. So,
Okay.
But I have to, if we're going to talk about terrible kits, Getafe, they had, when they were sponsored by Burger King, they used to have the king underneath the shirt. So when you pulled the shirt over your head, it had the king's face on it.
Yep.
And the team I used to play for, the five-a-side team, we were called Colonel Getafe, and we were desperately trying to get hold of those shirts so that if we scored goals, we could do that. But yeah, it never happened, unfortunately. We could never find any. They discontinued them pretty quick. Right,
that would have been class.
I know. Can you imagine? Neil, we are discussing this week the biggest flops to have entered the Premier League from abroad.
Yes.
Just to point out, those who are listening, we're not talking about players that have gone from one English club to another and flopped, i.e., I think Fernando Torres would have probably been one that
Torres,
might have brought up. And,
your Sanchez.
Sanchez, Falcao, possibly. Obviously going Manchester United to Chelsea.
There, but I think, but I think it was loan both times, wasn't it? So he came from Monaco both times. But I think the people we've gone on with are actually somehow bigger flops than Falcao.
I know, incredibly. I mean, we've got some in here, some controversial ones as well. I think I probably picked the most controversial ones in here, but I'll give my reasons why.
I did have to check myself on
before
that
you wrecked yourself.
Exactly right. Yeah, I was. I was a bit confused, but you have your reasons, and the whole point of this is its opinion and it's open to debate.
Yeah, precisely. And once we get onto those debates, and hopefully we'll be able to validate our reasons. I think looking at all of yours, there's no debate as far as I'm concerned. All five of yours that you picked are just flops.
And I'm not even convinced that some people would have heard of all of them.
Yeah, no. To be fair,
that's how much they flopped.
I think out of the five you mentioned, I'd only heard of one, and if you'd have given me a lineup of five pictures, I wouldn't have known which one he was. Wouldn't have had a clue, mate. Memphis
you probably
Depay.
would.
Jeez, man. Have we not mentioned him yet?
You know what? He didn't even get. To be fair, again, he was. See, we've got the notable mentions and things like that. I think the problem we've got with this is you look over the Premier League period of time, and there were so many people that were flops.
Yeah.
Depay actually wasn't. I mean, he was played as a centre forward to start with, which isn't really his position. He was then pushed out wide, which again,
typical Man
isn't
United
really
treatment.
his position. Yeah, but he still ended up weighing in with sort of 10, 11 goals.
Yeah, and I remember he scored a hat-trick on his Europa League debut for Manchester United, and a really good hat-trick as well. So, I just think the lad didn't get given enough time.
No. And just seeing Fabio's next shout of Ricky Van Volswinkel.
Yep.
Both myself and Sean picked our lists, and then we suddenly realised that we hadn't picked Ricky Van Volswinkel.
Oops.
He was a flop in terms of the amount of money they spent on him. I didn't think he ever looked that great in the first place.
No, but at the time when they signed him, he was. I mean, Manchester United were linked with him, and he was banging them in at Sporting. Sorry, Fabs. And he was looking like he was going to be a real dangerous striker, and just frankly was dog dirt. Yeah, just didn't happen. Just didn't happen. Yeah. Not at Norwich as well. I mean, Norwich put an absolute shed load of cash into him as well. Thinking that he would be the one that kept him up. And I mean, they're still paying for it now. When you look at their transfer policy going into this year.
Yeah, the weight of expectation put on him, I think, was...
Oh, it was immense.
Not undue, but yeah, it was immense. And he was essentially playing up front on his own in a team that wasn't creating huge amounts of chances.
No.
Things just didn't roll for him.
No.
So, again, for Van Wolfswinkel not to get in, how bad...
We got some bangers, lads. We got some bangers. Sit down, pour yourself a pint, and enjoy these. He is smashing it now. Where's it? Is Van Wolfswinkel? Is it Steaua Bucharest? Or Basel.
I was going to say, is Fabio talking about Depay or is he talking about Van Wolfswinkel?
Van Wolfswinkel, I think, because I know he's smashing them in wherever he is in Europe. Mkhitaryan, yeah, didn't really do it at Manchester United. Shinji Kagawa was another one I thought of. Once again, didn't do it at Manchester United. Juan Sebastian Veron.
See, again, I think those two players both looked good at points in time, just didn't get opportunities.
Yeah.
Veron was one in the Premier League, he was rubbish, but as soon as European nights came on, he was amazing. When the game slowed down and he was able to treat it like he was in Italy, he was quality.
I think, once again, I can't remember who was talking about it. I was reading something the other day about Juan Sebastian Veron, and they asked an ex-Manchester United player, why didn't it work? And they said he was walking into the best centre midfield pairing arguably in the world at that time in Roy Keane and Paul Scholes, just the way that they worked.
Yeah.
And he said the discipline that those two players had, those two never really bombed on. They always held their ground. They knew their positions. They each knew where each other was. When Juan Sebastian Veron came in, and the reason Manchester United signed Juan Sebastian Veron was because he was a real box-to-box player. He would go close down the left back. He'd close down the right back. He would kind of be a bit of everywhere. So when he came into that Manchester United team, he was just... He let the team down because of the way he played. It wasn't... I don't think it was necessarily his fault. I don't think he was having bad games. It was just the way he was playing just didn't suit the team. So, I mean, that's why he initially come up in my 5, and then I took him out because I think, to be honest, I don't think he flopped. I just don't think he suited the team.
Yeah. I think Fabio said he was talking about Depay.
Yeah.
I think when Depay first went to Lyon, he was kind of almost playing as like a false 9, wasn't he? He wasn't playing. He was playing up front through the middle, but he was dropping in, and the two guys wide of him were pushing in. I think it's almost over the last season, 2 seasons, he's kind of adapted it a little bit more to become more of that point. A bit Ronaldo style, I think. A little bit. Where he's actually starting to hold a position a bit more. I think he's become a little bit more tactically aware of what's going on around him.
Yeah, definitely.
He was always a tidy player. A tidy player. Just never looked like an out-and-out goal scorer.
No.
But, in France, you can. If you play for one of the decent teams.
Yeah, nail on the head. I mean, if you're playing for a team like Lyon, where you've got some decent players around you who are creative as well, like Houssem Aouar, and you've got Bertrand Traoré on the right hand side.
Some
of these other players.
He doesn't need to drop in to fill the space.
No, exactly. So, he doesn't have to. Yeah, he's allowed to play his game and hence score goals. So, which is what you need to do as a striker. You shouldn't have to be doing all the dog work, really. You should be allowed to just do your job and not score goals. So.
Yep.
Is there any other notable mentions which we're missing? Because, I mean, I think, to be fair, we could have named most of Newcastle signings for the last 20 years. I know one of them has made your list, but...
I nearly did name a lot of them. I think there was a couple that were on there that got... Jean-Alain Boumson. The problem was with him, again, first season, he didn't look too bad. And then the second season, he played with Titus Bramble.
Which is going to ruin anyone's career, let's be honest.
It's a downward
I reckon he
spiral,
can make Van Dijk look average.
Yeah. But then there was also Stefan Gavage.
Yep.
Who won the World Cup somehow won the World Cup with France. Newcastle spent a load of money on him and he played 4 games, didn't score a goal, and then they sent him out to Rangers.
Yeah.
He was awful.
Toilet.
Absolutely awful.
Just quick, if everyone can say hello to George. George jumped in on the streams yesterday. How are we doing, dude? George is a fellow Gooners fan, so he's in esteemed company here. Coop, you have a friend. So
that made it sound like Coop has no others.
Coop's got loads of friends.
Coop's got loads of friends. He has.
Just most of them aren't Arsenal fans, unfortunately. So bless him.
I don't know. You've seen our football chat, yeah?
Oh yeah, but I mean, come off it. Anyway, sorry. Notable mentions then. Notable mentions. Sorry, we got as far as Newcastle's signings.
I could keep going. Albert Luque.
Yeah.
Was another one. He was awful. You could go around. I mean, there are quite a lot of very poor, big money signings. Shevchenko was deemed a flop. I don't think he was necessarily.
I don't think he was a flop, really. I mean,
flop. He just didn't deliver what was expected.
No, he was expected to come in and bang 30 goals, and that was just not going to happen. Let's be honest.
No,
you just don't do that in any team.
I'm not playing out wide when you've been a centre forward all your life.
Yeah.
Sergei Rebrov was a flop at Spurs, but that was because he'd always played as a second striker with Shevchenko, and he went to Spurs and he played as a centre forward.
Yep.
You know, a lot of these people have come in and just.
Would you deem Mitrovic to be a flop at Newcastle?
No, he was always a handful when he played.
Yeah, just didn't score the goals he was
picked on a regular basis. No, Kostas Mitroglou.
Oh, dear God!
What a flop!
Fucking hell!
What a flop! £12 million to get to save their season. He plays 3 games, complains he doesn't like it, and buggers off back to Greece for the rest of the season. Didn't even play. But Fulham done the same. Steve Marley at Fulham.
Yeah.
Was a fantastic striker in or scored a lot of goals in France. Played centre forward for Fulham, and then they realised actually he played out wide in France and scored the goals. So when he wasn't jumping for headers and things like that, they could understand why. It's because he wasn't a centre forward. He didn't do that side of things.
No.
So, you know, there's a lot. Christopher Ray.
There's just so many.
Kabadir Wara. I mean, Arsenal have had a few. There's been shed loads.
Who's the striker that you brought up? You mentioned a striker that they signed, a French striker. Jesus Christ.
Which one? What? France?
That signed for Newcastle.
Stefan Givash.
There was another one as well. Not it wasn't Gomez, was it? Gomez? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Batafimi Gomez.
Did he sign for Newcastle?
He went to. He was at Swansea.
Swansea. And he didn't do bad there actually. I can't remember. There was a striker like him, and we talked about him after the show. I remember Emmanuel.
Oh, Emmanuel Riviere.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
kind of like he Gomez. Was awful.
Yeah, he was shit.
Yeah.
Apparently he was supposed to come in and he had loads of pace, and I don't remember him ever using his pace, but.
He was basically the same as he didn't even have a great goal scoring record in France, and if you haven't got a good goal scoring record in France, you ain't going to have one here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, never. Jesus Christ! I mean, it's made Ibrahimovic the man that he is today. So, big nose. I knew I'd be able to slate him at least once in this show.
Wilfred Bonney was good for Swansea. He was, and unfortunately, George, he doesn't get onto our list because his transfer was between English clubs when
so
became
he's
rubbish.
One of the red herrings, and I don't think Almiron's a flop. Yeah, I think that's a bit harsh. He's only had one season, and he looks incredibly lightweight. So I think you've got to give him time.
He needs a good pie, don't he?
He does, yeah. I mean, he's in the right place as well, so
he'll
be getting plenty of blows. Right, so Neil, let's move on to our 10. So we've both picked 5 each.
Yes.
Neil's cracking his knuckles. I'll let Neil go first because I am the gentleman of these two. So, Neil, who is the first person that's made your list?
So I'm going to go. My first person I'm going to note is Bernard Diomed.
Diomed. The well-known Liverpool player you're on about.
I am talking about that hero winger for
this
Liverpool. That fella.
Killed Neil, but...
I'm impressed you've got a picture of him.
Thank you. I'm quite proud I did too.
In a Liverpool shirt.
I had to scour the globe for that.
He only wore it 3 times in 3 or 4 years. He's another one who somehow has got a World Cup winners medal.
Incredible. I mean, he looks like Dwayne Dibney.
Yep. He looks like a rubbish Divock Origi. And I'll be honest, he was a rubbish Divock Origi.
That's a hell of a compliment, Neil.
Oh, mate.
I was reading about him. He made his debut against Lazio, and he nearly scored an overhead kick.
Scored an overhead kick, which was disallowed because they said it didn't cross the line.
Yeah.
But actually on replays it did. But obviously you didn't have VAR goal line technology, or anything like that back then. You didn't have a Russian linesman.
Yeah.
He had nothing going for him. And that was the highlight of his Liverpool career.
Yeah. But I mean, do you think it could have turned out differently if that goal would have been allowed? You know, I mean, scoring a overhead kick on your debut. No, you don't think that'd given him a bit of confidence? Seems to have gone.
He was crap. He was awful. He was.
Yeah, but you don't win a World Cup medal just by being all right, and being and being a Dwayne Dibney.
He was very quick. No, I don't know. Maybe he was in there for comedy value.
Do the impression.
Maybe they didn't think Christophe Dugarry was funny enough. Do the impression.
It's the only reason they had him.
Yeah, Dwayne doing it in French accent as well. That would have been impressive.
Dwayne Dibney?
No, he was. He was £3 million they paid for him, which in 2000 was actually a bit of a deal for a guy who's won a World Cup 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember who he was playing for in France. It was either Lille or Lyon. It was one of the L's, I'm sure. And he
Auxerre.
Auxerre, of course. Yeah, sorry, it wasn't one of the L's.
That's right.
It was Auxerre.
I had an X in
there. When Auxerre were good. Yeah, when Auxerre were good. And I think he was replaced at Auxerre by Djibril Cissé. And that worked out so much better. Because, so Diem played 3 times in 4 years at Liverpool. I think he went out on loan once, maybe twice.
Went out and once to Ajaccio before making it a permanent deal.
There we go. And he was...
By the way, just to point out, guys, anyone in the chat that's thinking, "God, he knows all this," I've got Wikipedia, so...
Yeah.
I ain't smart.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I've just literally glanced down at the chat and saw Henry Xavier.
Yeah.
But yeah, he flattered to deceive.
I mean, he was that shit. I just didn't even think.
But yes, well, he was at Man United for a little while, wasn't he? And then he went back to Newcastle. I'm sure he was at Man United as a youngster. Maybe not. Probably. No. I'm not thinking of it. David Bellion as well. But again, we could go on forever. So yeah,
we could be all day.
Bernard Diarmid is my first choice. 8 caps for France, all got in the year of. I think he actually got a couple of them when he was at Liverpool. So he probably played more games for France. No, he didn't. He got them all in the World Cup year.
Yeah,
he got them all in the World Cup year. And he never played again after the World Cup finals. That's right. I remember now. But he played 2 games in 2.5 years at Liverpool. What a hero.
Yeah, what a hero. Yeah. Give that man a medal. He earned that World Cup medal.
He definitely did, yeah.
Damn it.
The impression again.
Yeah. Dwayne Dibney? Great. I'd love him in the dressing room. Can we sign him on Sundays? Do the impression. Just get him. Yeah. Okay, my first pick, and I'm going to get this one out of the way because I feel bad talking ill of the dead, but my first pick is Jose Antonio Reyes, which later on, before his time at Arsenal and after his time at Arsenal, he had a superb career. But when he signed for Arsenal, he was quickly drawing comparisons to Cristiano Ronaldo. And he was expected to kind of come in and be this hustling, bustling winger that was going to take not only the Premier League but the world by storm. I remember when he signed and everyone was saying this lad's going to be the best player in the world. And frankly, it just never happened. He showed glimpses. Time and time again, he showed that there was something there, that there was one hell of a player there, that we saw later on in his career once he found his consistency. But his time with Arsenal was just littered with inconsistencies. Absolutely littered. Some games he looked like a world-class player. Other games, I don't think he could even get in a Sunday League team. And for him to have that kind of billing, arriving at such a big club at such a big time as well, and to have not met those expectations. He was quite young when he
came, wasn't he?
He was 20... Let's have a look. Let's see if we can find out. Yeah, early 20s?
I think it was, 21 maybe. Maybe even younger.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Good old Wikipedia. What'd I do without
But he was also, I think the part of the problem was as well, growing up, and he was another one who was... He was a centre forward until going to Arsenal. And I think he played through the middle a few times at Arsenal and just looked lightweight and incapable, and then moved out wide. And he had more success out wide.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think George has just hit the nail on the head. Everyone expected too much for him and put too much pressure on him, and that happens when you're a young lad and you arrive. You either hit the ground running, or you don't. Frankly,
yeah.
For him, it just didn't happen. You know, and I think there was calls for him being homesick. There was some prank call or something from a Spanish news outlet where he said, he just, he doesn't like England, he doesn't like London. He wants to get away from it, and this is in his first year at Arsenal, and he managed to stay there for 3 years. And I think that kind of summed it up, really. He got his move to Real Madrid, and and consequently moved around for a little bit in Spain before really settling at Sevilla, and we saw that player that was always there, but just didn't have the consistency. So hence why he makes my list. Is purely because exactly what George said. He was expected to come into Arsenal and really, be a world beater, and it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen.
No, came in, took the number 9 shirt as well, didn't he? He just didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, and just to kind of, I suppose, footnote it. I mean, what a sad end to a, to a career. To
car crash.
To pass at the age of 35 is just no age. So, like I say, I wanted to get that one out early and morally feel better for speaking ill of someone who's passed on.
Yeah, was it a car crash?
It was a car crash. Yeah, him and his brother, I believe.
Yes.
There was reports at the time that he was driving manically, but it was once they actually looked at the crime scene, it was a fault with the car, I believe. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So tragic accident.
Yep. But in your biggest flops list.
In my biggest flop list, purely because he was expected to achieve that, and he achieved that. He didn't even make it on the screen.
Cool. So, my number 2. I'll tell you what. My number two. My number 2, and I'm going to go with this guy as my number 2, just because
he is a number 2.
Winston Bogart. What an arsehole.
But his story, I mean, like, this is what every British person would do, put in his shoes.
Maybe. If you're a defender who's at the peak of your career, essentially, probably not. He was probably coming to the peak of his career when he went to Chelsea. It was a free transfer, which meant he got paid. It was back in the day when Bosman's had just started, so teams were giving massive signing on fees and paying people stupid amounts more in wages because they'd saved the money on the transfers. So you were getting massive disparities in paychecks and things like that. And he went to Chelsea before Abramovich's millions and billions came in. 40 grand. He had played the first season where he was bang average. It took a little while for him to adapt. There was always question marks over whether he was a left back or a left centre back. He played centre back a few times for Chelsea, didn't work. Played left back, it didn't work. He was used to playing Dutch football where you play essentially a back three.
Yeah.
He then was offered the opportunity to leave. They didn't try and loan him out. I don't know. I'm guessing because everywhere they tried to loan him, they wanted to fund his wages to an extent.
Yeah.
So they tried to sell him, and he just refused to leave and said, "No." Dug his heels in and said, "No one is going to pay me the amount of money you're paying me, so I'll sit it out."
Yeah.
And he then sat in the reserves for 3 years, collecting 40 grand a week. He even had the audacity to rock up at a couple of Chelsea games to watch in the players section. And it's like, the guy just had no scruples. And you think of, and yes, when you say, lots of players or lots of English people would do exactly as he did. I don't think people who want to play football for the love of football would.
Yeah, I mean, but okay, I like to try and look at some of these football situations in situations that are not related to football. Now, if you was offered to do the exact same job as what you're on now, but for more money, better money, and for whatever reason you decide, yeah, I'm going to do it, and it doesn't fit with you, but that, but you're tied into this job. If you just want to sit it out and just say, look, it doesn't work for me, like, you're going to do it. You're going to take that money. You're going to take the money. Of course you are.
You take the money, you wouldn't sit it out. I've changed my job. I've changed my job a couple of times.
Yeah, but you wouldn't take a lesser paid job, would you? Would you?
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it.
If I thought, if I thought, well, I have done. I have done.
Yeah, I mean, you have, but most people wouldn't. Neil, you're one of a kind.
No, most people would. Yeah, I'm special, mate, special. But yeah, I think the difference between a 30 grand a year job to a 30 grand a week job,
mate. Yeah, but that's what I mean. You'd do it. I tell you, okay. So Wikipedia. I'm going to call on some Wikipedia stats and just kind of bring up a few quotes from here because it really does kind of flesh out your story. So apparently he made 9 league appearances for Chelsea in 4 years, according to this.
That all? Only 9 in the end?
Yeah. Okay. According to this,
I thought he played most of the first season. Okay.
Yeah. No, Bogarde signed for Chelsea in the 2001 season after following the advice of compatriot Mario Melchiot. So it's so I mean this is essentially like your mate who works on the door getting you into a gay club. Basically, if you want to go clubbing.
He's got you in.
Yeah, exactly. He's got you in, but do you know what? Do you really want to go in? No, you fucking don't.
It goes back to essentially my stag do going to Bratislava and paying £12 for a bottle of Bud, the equivalent of 12 quid for a bottle of Bud, and one of the guys with us going, shouldn't moan, we got in for free. It's still 12 quid for a bottle of Bud.
Exactly, yeah. 2 gulps and it's gone. Fucking hell.
If he told me it was 10 quid on the door, I wouldn't have come in.
But yeah, it's essentially didn't fit in whatsoever at Chelsea. They tried to get rid of him. To quote him of his contract, he said, "Why should I throw 15 million euro away when it's already mine? At the moment I signed, it was in fact my money, my contract." That's what he said. So he then later said, after attempting to sell Bogarde due to his large salary and demoted him to the reserves and youth teams in an effort to force him to leave. In response to press criticism, he responded, "This world is about money. So when you are offered those millions, you take them. Few people will ever earn so many. I am one of the few fortunate ones who do. I may be one of the worst buys in the history of the Premiership, but I don't care."
There's a key element in what you said there. Mm-hmm. Very few will get the opportunity to earn this money. He didn't earn the money.
No, he didn't earn it. No.
That's like me taking a job. Yeah, that's like me taking a job, signing a contract. The contract doesn't have a year on it, so it's an indefinite contract. Yep. That's like me taking a contract and then leaving that job and then turning around and saying to them, "But you need to pay me."
I signed that contract because you said you were going to pay me.
Yeah, I signed a contract. Yeah, retirement age. You don't have to give me pay rise. It's just that amount. Yeah. I think it lacks a huge amount of scruples. I think it lacks a huge amount of morality, and he was crap.
He was shit.
He played 9 games. He didn't earn the money. To say he earned the money, he didn't earn the money.
No, exactly. Signing a contract doesn't mean you earned that amount of money.
No, so, it means that if you perform, you're entitled to earn that money. But you will be paid for doing your job.
So I think that Winston Bogarde could be the first player in our debates to make it onto 2 lists, and if we ever do who's the biggest cock in football, he's going to be on it.
Oh yeah, but he will be closely followed by one of my others.
Ibrahimovic?
One of my other flops. No, one of my other flops.
Granty baby. Grant, we are on to our 3rd pick of our 10 flops. So those kind of flops.
So far we have had Winston Bogarde of Chelsea. We have had Bernard Diarmid of Liverpool.
I didn't know him either, mate.
And Jose Reyes of Arsenal.
Yeah, I got him out early, Grant. I said I don't like speaking ill of the dead. So
yeah, so we're now on to number 4. Number 4.
Numero 4. Okay,
we'll move on quick because Grant's an Arsenal fan, isn't he? So
yeah, I wanted to get the Arsenal one out early. I also know that George is an Arsenal fan, so is Coop. So I don't want to upset the Arsenal fraternity. God no. And like I said, the thing with Reyes was it was like the expectation was that high, and he achieved that much.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't. I think if he'd have had that kind of career at say a team like Everton, he wouldn't make it on this list. But it's purely he coming with such a high expectation. So
yeah, and it was a lot of money for the time as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for the time. Like I said, to draw parallels to Cristiano Ronaldo at that time is, you know, I think that's very unfair for starters. But hey, that's the media.
It is.
Okay, my next one is a Liverpool player, who ended up having different spells across some other at the time Premier League teams, and that's Lazar Markovic. Grant, brilliant. Steady on. But yeah, Lazar Markovic looked pretty handy at Benfica for a season. Looked like he was ripping it up, playing out wide. Moved there from Partizan. Arrived at Liverpool for a fee of 20 million English pounds, and done the square sum of fuck all. The square sum, ladies and gentlemen. The square. He'd done nothing and looked useless in the process as well. Just never even showed glimpse of anything.
Another one who was just very, very quick.
Yeah.
And that was it.
George preempted me thinking it was Mo Salah. No, George. No. Salah done it for 2 seasons. And he wasn't a flop when he arrived as well. Salah was dope. But he was a bit of a flop at Chelsea though, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
But Markovic, you kind of expected him to be this, as I say, this lightning winger, you know, a bit like Raheem Sterling was when he broke in at Liverpool, and you thought like, oh, this lad's maybe gonna lighten the load a bit, and you know, and it just didn't happen. I just can't even remember him doing anything, frankly.
But he was rubbish when he went out on loan as well. He went to Hull and he was crap.
Hull was shit.
Where else did he go?
He ended up signing for Fulham on a free deal. He lasted there not even 6 months. He started one single game before fucking off back to Serbia.
Well, there you go. I didn't even realise he'd gone to Fulham.
Yeah.
That's how insignificant
he
his
went.
Premier
He went
League
there
career
upon the recommendation of Mitrovic. Mitrovic recommended he come to Fulham. Once again, this is his whole getting your mate through the back door of a gay club. It's
no pun intended.
No pun intended. To just absolutely be a shambles. But I mean, Christ, I don't even know where he. Apparently he's at Partizan. He's back at Partizan now on a 3-year deal signed in September last year.
Okay.
But Jesus Christ. He did tear his anterior cruciate ligament and started getting put at right back. Did he? Don't know, don't care, mate. He flopped big time at Liverpool. He flopped. So, I don't think there's really much more that needs to be said about that, Neil.
No, I remember him coming in. I remember him playing at right back a couple of times for Liverpool, but he was awful there as well.
Yeah, he just
I think that was Yeah, Fabi was as well. So in that case, then we'll remember him from his time at Sporting instead.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good record at Sporting. He scored 1 goal in 6 games. Tidy.
Impressive.
Tidy for a right back.
Tidy for a right back. Tidy for Markovic, based on his rest of his career.
That big nose and long hair. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
He definitely had the long hair, didn't he?
Sounds like a friend of mine.
In the wind. Is that Markovic again?
What? What about Markovic?
Every so often I get a flash up of a motorbike. Are you just trying to drop hints in there? Yeah.
No. That's me changing screens, Neil. Jeez.
Oh, is it? Is that your back screen? Is it?
That is, yeah. That's my desktop. Yeah.
I like it. That's your 58 on your
Yeah, the Marco Simoncelli, who is also deceased nowadays. So, died in 2014. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Well, not cool.
Moving on.
Yeah. Cool. Moving on. My next person. I'm going to save my other 2 douchebags for the end.
I'm glad you said person.
Next one is. What?
I said I'm glad you said person and not footballer, because they're quite obviously not a footballer.
But he has been everywhere, apart from here. So the next person is Bosco Balaban.
Bosco Balaban.
The legend that is Bosco Balaban. He was signed by Villa There you go. There's
There he
another.
is.
See, some of these
So the great. I
some of
think
these
I think
players.
the best achievement that he made in the Premier League was being groped by Graham Poll.
I think the best achievement he made in the Premier League was an appearance.
Yeah, look at that.
But his record prior to coming to Villa and before and then after leaving Villa was brilliant. It was almost like it was a money laundering setup. The guy came in, it was like £6 million or something like that for him. He'd had a great scoring record, but he was at average teams, and it just never. I think he played maybe one league game and then a few games in the cup, and then he spent his time out on loan or in the reserves.
Yeah,
and then when he left on a free transfer,
he started 8 games according to Wikipedia. He signed for 5.8 million, earning 20 grand a week.
What a waste of money! What a waste of money! But his goal scoring record elsewhere was good. I think he finally left Villa and went to Club Bruges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and scored quite a few goals there.
Yeah,
and was scoring goals in the Champions League and things like that. So there was obviously a player or a half decent striker in there, but he just never got a look in at Villa, and I no idea why. No. I think there was a period of time when Villa had obviously gone and signed a few people all around the same sort of time. I think they had John Carew there. I think they'd also bought in Milan Baros around the same sort of time as well.
Was Juan Pablo Angel there around about that sort of time?
I think he was on his way out by then. I think this was like 2006, 2007. So I think he was on his way out. Mm-hmm. But you don't spend that amount of money on someone. There was a lot of rumours going on that. I can't even remember who signed him, but they'd never actually seen him play. They'd only seen videos of him.
Oh, really?
Now, that's not cool either.
No, exactly.
You don't. What are you playing at? So
crazy, man.
The scouting and things like that at the time, especially to pay that amount of money on put that amount of money on a player who you've never seen play.
I was gonna say nowadays, 6 million's not really a lot, but we're talking the year 2001. It's that's quite hefty. That so.
Yeah, 6 million now is mid-table championship team.
Yeah.
But 2001, yeah. Oh no, sorry, it was 2001 he came. So yeah, it was before Carew and Barros. It was Angel was there.
Yeah. Good shout.
So yeah, but yeah. No, that was when Villa had Angel. It was, yeah. Sorry, I didn't even see that crop up. But yeah, Angel kept him out of the team for a little while, and then he just never got a look in. I mean, it got to the point I think where Gabby Agbonlahor had a better record than him.
God.
And he's a douchebag.
Is he? Why don't you like him? I didn't think he was that bad.
He wasn't that bad, but he wasn't ever what. He never lived up to expectations. I mean, he makes a big shout about being Villa's all-time Premier League top scorer. I think he scored 78 goals. When you bear in mind he spent his whole career there.
He was better than Nathan Delfonso, though. And Nathan Delfonso, they expected
to
be
because he got in the team. Yeah, Nathan Delfonso looked amazing for about a year, and then they binned him off. The same, but Villa done that. They had Luke Moore and people like that as well, which was the same. But yeah, Bosco Balaban, useless, waste of money.
Juan Pablo Angel signed in the same season.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, he signed 6 months before Balaban. He signed in January.
Yeah, I was going to say Balaban came in the summer and Angel came in the January because I remember his first game was his first goal was against Coventry. Yeah.
Angel signed for a club record 9.5 million. Jesus.
Million from River Plate.
Which, as you say, is a hell of a lot of money back then. A hell of a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
My next pick, we're going to stick with another Liverpool miscreant. Who I think is fair to say most people have forgotten about his time at Liverpool now, with obviously all their current success, and that's Mario Balotelli. When he arrived there from AC Milan, as they were looking to try and replace Luis Suarez. I mean, Balotelli had obviously shown signs, certainly when he first arrived at Inter, he looked pretty handy. I always thought I could understand why Manchester City were signing him. At times he blew hot and cold for Manchester City. Never really found any consistency. I think actually the one thing to give him his credit, I don't think people talk enough about is his assist for Aguero's goal that obviously won them the league.
Yeah.
I don't think people ever mention his pass that slid Aguero through. And actually was probably more impressive than the goal. But unfortunately, Aguero took the headlines, and he has ever since, really. But I mean, Balotelli just showed he was a bit of a fucking idiot, and it was no surprise when he ended up leaving Man City and ended up back in Milan at AC before arriving at Liverpool. And at Liverpool, he was dog dirt, absolute dog dirt. I mean, I was watching some of the worst Premier League misses the other day, and he popped up. He missed a goal for Liverpool. He had a wide open goal and he missed it, but it just didn't happen. Once again, just didn't happen. He arrived at Liverpool, and he was just a shadow of the player that we'd seen at Man City. You know, a big sort of strong centre forward who could kind of do a bit of everything. It just didn't happen, and it was just littered with troubles off the pitch, on the pitch. It just turned out to be a massive flop.
Yeah, he's the sort of person who seems to suddenly perform and turn it on for a while when it looks like his career's petering out.
Yeah.
And he suddenly turns it on and has a really good season.
Yeah.
And everyone clamours around him, and now Balotelli sorted himself out. He's back in again. Yeah. He was at Nice he was at for a couple of years. And he was quality. And he was scoring goals. And then Marseille came in and said, we want him, and he went, oh, hello, bigger club. I've earned my chance again. Went to Marseille, fucked everybody off, and balls up again.
Yeah, now he's in Brescia in Italy. I
was going to say he's in Brescia, struggling. Yeah.
Just not doing anything. Lighting fireworks in his house.
He's doing all right. That was great in the bathroom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Set everything off in the bathroom. Because he didn't realise that would happen.
Yeah.
What did you think was going to happen, you idiot?
Doing. And then didn't he give like some homeless guy like £60,000 outside the nightclub or something? Or...
Gave him a shed load of cash from his pocket, didn't he?
Just because he could.
But he didn't. There was issues at shot someone at Man City training.
Yeah, with an air rifle or something, didn't he? And then one
air
time,
rifle, something like that.
He was on his way to training and just pulled into a school and just walked through the school, just started talking to the kids and stuff like. Savile-esque. He can't do that.
There's something not quite right there. Not quite right.
He is. He's not the full shilling. He's just nuts. But yeah, his time at Liverpool, thankfully, it didn't last very long because it was shocking. He fell out with Brendan Rodgers. I think Daniel Sturridge looked better than him, and I mean that just says it all because he's dog dirt as well. So
yeah.
So
for one season, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How did he not make our one season's wonder?
Yeah.
Chat on Monday. Shit. Okay.
That's because he'd done it a couple of times, didn't he? He had a couple of one seasons.
Did he? Yeah, definitely. If we're going to go entertainment value, then Balotelli makes it.
Yeah, Balotelli's in. Yeah. Balotelli definitely.
The funniest footballers.
Cool. Yeah. Me again.
Back to you, my friend. Speaking of funny, can we talk about the funny one? With the funny goal?
I know, he's my last man.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to link things there. Okay. I've got that saved, don't worry.
Have you got a video for any of yours? Have we got any other funnies, or is it just that one?
No, he's the only funny one. I've got 3 videos lined up, so.
Well, for him?
No, not for him, no.
Oh right.
For my last 2 and your one. So unfortunately, it's worked out that way.
Guy. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Cool. Okay. That's fine. Whatever. You're in charge of the videos. I can't complain. Right. My next person. Be interesting to see how many people remember him. Three Stones at Academy, Babs. That's what it is.
Good lad.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, well done, Babs. Good memory skills. Marcelino.
Who, Neil?
Exactly. Marcelino at Newcastle. As we said, we could have built a Newcastle team.
We could. We should do that.
This guy was. He was almost as much of a dick as Bogard.
Almost.
The thing is, though, I remember watching him play the year before he signed for Newcastle when he was at Mallorca. And it was in the Champions League, and they had a half decent team. I think it was when Eto'o was still at Mallorca before he went to Barca.
Okay.
And they looked no idea. No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It took me ages to find him.
Mallorca looked like a really good team, and he looked like an absolute beast of a centre back. And Newcastle, it was 90. So no, he was at Mallorca, and he was playing centre back with Ivan Campo.
Yeah.
And they went up into the La Liga. They were in second division. They went up, and then they finished third in the league. Got into the Champions League, and they also lost in the UEFA Cup final to Lazio.
Yep. 2-1
And in
defeat.
99, it was 2-1. In 99, he went to Newcastle for £6 million, just under. And he went on to play 20 games in the first year and a half. He then...
Cool, Neil, he was an ugly bastard, you know. Jeez.
He is a weird-looking... Yeah, he looks like a proper centre-back.
Look at him, look.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, look at the conch on him.
To be fair, he looked better when he was at Mallorca because he had a goatee. So he didn't look quite, broke up what was otherwise a really ugly face.
He'd look like a cheap man's Mauro Camoranesi.
Yeah. No, it was a very cheap man's version, mate. He then dropped down into the reserves, and he finally reached an agreement to leave in January 2003. 3.5 years later, he hadn't been involved in the main first team squad since the 11th of Feb in 2001. Okay. Right? Now, he kept getting injured, and this was why he wasn't able to play. Right?
Yeah.
Do you know what
kept
the
getting
injury
scanned
was?
and getting... well, obviously, I have it on my screen, Neil, but no, I don't know what the injury was.
Ah, damn you. So, he tore a tendon in his finger. And it kept him out.
Strong centre-back.
Kept him out for multiple months. Now, I'm pretty sure I've seen Sunday League players play with that resin stuff to keep your hand set. Sunday League players. Yeah. This guy's being paid to play in the Prem, and he couldn't do it. And apparently he was out for a chunk of time, and then he kept saying he was injured, and he was getting doctors to falsify scans and things like that because everything was inconclusive. There was never actually an injury. He just didn't want to play.
No, he just out.
So possibly worse than Bogart, who at least fronted up and said, screw you.
Yeah.
Marcelino lied and blagged his way through not wanting to play until they finally managed to get rid of him.
Oh, sick note.
He makes Darren Anderton look like the fittest player ever. Yeah. But he then went and played in the second division in Spain and then retired after a couple of years.
Yeah, I was going to say, to quote Wikipedia, Marcelino also suffered several different injuries during his time with the Magpies, which stuttered his career there. Scans on the affected areas were occasionally declared to be inconclusive. The most serious of his injuries being a snapped finger tendon which prevented him from playing for 2 months.
But he kept saying,
cock.
I remember at the time there was numerous things where he couldn't play because of a finger injury, and that was longer than the 2 months. So that may have been, it's not right yet. So it was a definite snapped tendon.
I mean, the reoccurrence of a finger injury is probably because it was so far stuck up his arse.
Oh, yeah.
Cock.
I've been to Newcastle. I can guarantee where it was. It was... He was just shit. It was such a letdown. The guy was...
It's very rare that a player is as good as he looks, but in this case, he was.
He looked shit, and he was shit. The thing is, though, he looked so good before coming to England, and he actually didn't look too bad when he first started playing for Newcastle. He wasn't bad. He obviously just didn't fancy it. Alan Shearer probably kicked him in training, and he booed for the rest of the time or something. It was just, Jesus, what a waste.
What a cock.
Yeah, winds me up actually. Now I'm thinking about it, he winds me up more than all the others because they were just crap. This guy's a lying, cheating bastard.
Okay. Speaking of Alan Shearer, he's not on my list. Calm down, everyone. Calm down.
He can't be. He's getting transferred in England.
But I'm going to pick on another player that that Alan Shearer didn't take much of a liking to. The reason being that this player turned up to an away game in a tuxedo. If you knew about this, just rocked up to the game in a tuxedo. Just, before the game.
Fantastic.
I mean, I didn't think that was that bad. I mean, looking at the way that some of the other players dress nowadays, where they've got the fucking jogging bottoms halfway down their knees, do you know what? Turning up in a tux, I think, is pretty classy. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But, so...
Did he have a club tie?
Sorry?
Did he have the club tie on?
I don't know, but the club bow tie, maybe. I don't know, you'd have to ask him. But it's Florian Thauvin. And it's showing a clip of him playing here, and you watch him play and you're thinking, he's pretty nifty, not a bad little player. Look at him here, look, nice little step over, bit of this, bit of that, quick little give and go here against Arsenal, and you're thinking, yeah, this lad's got something. But he's surmised to make 9 appearances for Newcastle in the league, scoring no goals, none. His best game was against Northampton in the FA Cup, where he got a hat-trick of assists and a goal. And you'll see that come up in a minute. Let's see if we can fast forward it. So this is his best game in a Newcastle shirt against Northampton. So we'll see here. Nice little reverse pass for the goal. Here a free kick that is just flicked in. Another free kick. And then we'll see his goal in a minute where he takes someone's head off. Look at that. Boom. What a boy. Eat shit.
Now, he is a prime example of someone who came over.
Yep.
Playing well in France.
Yep.
Was awful here and has gone back to France and is a quality player.
Yeah.
Absolutely mustard.
Absolute mustard. He was mustard at Marseille, comes to Newcastle. Sorry, he made 13 appearances in the league for Newcastle, scoring no goals. And then pissed off back to Marseille after having a row with Alan Shearer because he rocked up in a tux, and now is absolutely smashing it.
Of all the things, to have a ruck about.
I know. I mean, what a cock. So yeah, Thauvin was criticised by Newcastle's all-time top scorer Alan Shearer for turning up to a game wearing a tuxedo. In February 2016, he told L'Equipe that the criticism was unfair and affected his performances. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, because...
that's no
shit, because you can't play in the tux, you cock. So, it's just...
I don't know, that team in Peru or Chile or wherever it was tried.
See, this is what I wanted to talk about. He
would have felt at home.
See?
Yeah, he would have felt at home.
Yeah, why need not sign for them? Should we do that, Neil? Should we find him one of those shirts and post it to him on behalf of the DTL football chat?
Yes. I think we should find one and just wear it on here not in memory of, but yeah, in homage. in homage to, actually, in memory of Thauvin Newcastle career.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
I mean,
we'll take a selfie and send him to Alan Shearer. Ask his opinion.
I've heard some ridiculous reasons for people not performing. Never they took the piss out of me because I wore a tux.
Only the French, eh?
Fuck me.
I know.
I mean, the only way that's justifiable is if it was like the walk of shame and he'd only just got in from the night before. And then it's not the tux that affected his performance.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I mean, I remember watching him for Marseille, and when he arrived for Newcastle, when you watch a player come to the league and you're just so excited, you really want to see them play in the league that you support. And I remember him coming over thinking, this is great. I can't wait to see what this lad does. I really thought he would go on to be, one of the top players in Europe, and just did not happen. Did not happen.
Was that?
Come.
Go on. No, carry on. Sorry.
I mean, there was part of the highlights there. I don't think it showed it, but it showed him weaving through about 4 players, and he's running at the back 4, and he tries to play this pass, and it's the worst pass you've ever seen. And that just summed it up. There was something there. There was a player there, but it just didn't have that last little bit. And to have arrived for the amount of money, and be a big signing at Newcastle, which they're very good at doing, and just not make it.
When did he go to Newcastle?
2016. Sorry, the 15-16 season, according to this.
Oh right, so it's only like 5 years ago. Okay, so was he one of the guys that went in when Pardew was in charge and they signed a bulk of French players?
I believe he was. Yeah, I think that was around about the time that they signed. Because Remy Cabella went the other way.
Ah, yes, Remy Cabella. He was. The one another waster. Ben Arthur.
Yeah. Yeah. So
look at this, all these additional people we haven't even thought about for flops.
No. I mean, we could just do a Newcastle show, really. Gabriel Obertan when they signed him for Manchester United. Jeez.
I think we could just do. I'm trying to think of bad goalkeepers they've had, and that's been the one place where they've probably not been too bad.
Goalkeepers. Well, I mean, they had Shay Given for a long time, so probably one of the best goalkeepers in the league, I think, in the Premier League era.
Shaka Hislop before that, and he was decent. And Cernacek, who was all right.
I mean, there's some good players.
The guy they got now is not too bad.
Les Ferdinand, Tino Asprilla, Loire, obviously Shearer, Ginola. But
dropped in some crap in between.
Fucking shit in between. Yeah, exactly. Shit or bust at Newcastle, wasn't it? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get on to our little comedy section of the show.
Oh God.
If it's not been like that already, guys and girls.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. This guy, when he made the move to England, a lot of people were probably quite excited, apart from who we went to.
I don't know. You've been excited being a Villa fan? Oh no, you went to Leeds. Sorry, I'm back on a thingy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
My bad. Oh, I read.
Bosco.
Yeah, I read, his name and shit. We'll edit that bit out.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So this guy was unreal for a little while. Absolutely unreal in Europe. And brilliant scoring record, everything for his country. And he came to England.
He was a wide player as well, wasn't he? Playing as a winger.
He was kind of a winger. He'd play up front more he'd play as like a second striker for Sweden. But he plays like an attacking midfielder, second striker in Italy. He went to Leeds, and oh God, I mean, everything was already going wrong for him. I think he'd already found the pie shops and things like that before he played a game.
And to be a bit of a porker.
Thomas Brolin, unreal player at points in time, but oh good Lord, not when he was at Leeds.
So
I think we've got the clip. We've got the clip of his debut, not his debut goal, but the first goal he scored for Leeds. Bearing in mind, he only scored 4 in total. It is a
belter. Everyone in the chat, can you just take a moment to take your kids out of the room, because this is pornographic.
Yeah, you don't want them to see.
Look at this X-rated Wazza. Look, hey. Watch it again.
I mean, I don't know. It's the really bad Ipswich defending.
My favourite bit.
He gets up and celebrates.
I was gonna say, wait for it. Look, this bit. Look at him. Look, he's ecstatic. Bless him.
I meant that. I meant that.
Oh, Neil, as you know, being a football man, it's all about angles.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, but the thing is, though, he'd done what I do now. He ran 5 yards. His legs went and he fell over.
It's had a cardiac arrest.
Jesus. But at that point in time, he was 25.
I know.
Or 40.
Can we show his Wikipedia picture to give you an idea of what a little porker he is now?
Oh, yeah. This is a pie guy.
Look at that.
That is not the face of a footballer.
No.
That is the face of
what a Finnish son.
New estate agent. A new estate agent.
Don't know, he kind of looks like a Hollywood's agent.
Yeah, he's going to sell you a timeshare in Spain.
No, he looks kind of like. Have you watched Tiger King?
Yeah.
He looks like the fucking.
He looks like a fat Joe Exotic.
Yeah, he looks like the rat. You know, the one that rats the bloke out in the end, and then you see him on the jet ski.
Oh yeah.
It looks like him. Yeah. I can't remember his name.
Neither can I.
Yeah, the fat bastard.
Tried to make the whole show about him in the end. Yeah.
I'll see if I can find the jet ski bit just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, but Thomas Broley, while you're doing that, we'll fill in. Absolutely brilliant for Sweden at the Euro '92. Scored an absolute worldie. How is it? Is it easy for you to pick up the goal that he scored for Sweden against England?
No, do you know what the best thing is? Right, okay, we're going slightly off topic now, but
go on.
You can see I've typed fat shit on a jet ski into YouTube, and it comes up with him straight away.
Yeah, brilliant.
Fatty on a jet ski. Yeah, okay, so he kind of looks like this guy, doesn't he? Look.
With longer hair. That's all it is, isn't it? Longer hair.
Just like
longer
him.
hair and more tan.
I love this scene.
I'll be waiting.
Do you know, it reminds me of someone we used to work with, but that's a conversation for another day. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so
yeah,
I mean,
how easy is it for you to quickly pull up the Brolin goal against England in Euro '92? Because it's an absolute belter. Absolute belter of a goal. And it was a regular thing. And, his highlights, some of the goals he scored were fantastic. He was brilliant at Parma. He was part of the Swedish team that then finished third at the World Cup in '94. It was absolutely class. I think he was like second top scorer at both of those tournaments. And he goes to Leeds in '95, a year after the World Cup, and his whole career falls apart. But
he suffered. Was it this game he suffered an injury? He broke his foot.
No, it wasn't in this game. No.
But he suffered.
It was in a Sweden game
broken foot, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that was towards because Parma, they were 2 points clear at the top of Serie A when he broke his foot. Yeah. And then by the time he come back from injury, they were 8 points off the top. So, I mean, it showed what an influence he had on that Parma side. And then obviously he ended up leaving them, to go to Leeds that season because they signed Stoichkov, didn't they, from Barca?
They did, yeah, and he knew that he wasn't going to be playing
to requirements, so he ended up at Leeds, and
but he was another one, a bit like Marcelino, who had a number of little niggling injuries and bailed out on a regular basis. He then had a problem with his foot, and essentially he went and told. Is that it? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, we'll just go back to see the beginning of the move. So he picks a ball up, just hit.
It was a 1-2.
Lays it off. Yeah, picks the ball up again. Another little 1-2.
1-2
outside the boot.
And then first time outside of the boot, top corner.
Superb finish.
It's an absolute worldie.
Yeah, I mean, you can
understand. Trademark jump in the air and pirouette.
Yeah, loving that.
But he was absolute belter of a goal. When you compare that to the one that came off his forehead while laid on the floor from a crack clearance by an Ipswich defender, he clearly had something about him.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, it was an Ipswich defender. What do you expect?
Yeah, but it was when he started to do a bit of a Marcelino and make out like his injuries were worse than they were, and he had a problem with his ankle, and he went back on loan to Parma, played for Parma for a little while, went back to Leeds, and then basically got Leeds to tear up his contract and said he wasn't fit enough to play top level football anymore. 6 months later, he rocked up at Crystal Palace and played 13 games in the Premier League. The guy just didn't want to be in Leeds.
No.
He's like, do you know what? Tear up my contract. I'm done. I mean, I can't play anymore.
With no one listening, would you want to be in Leeds?
No. God, no.
See?
But I equally would say, it's crappy. Can I have a transfer? I wouldn't go, I'm so injured I can't play pro football anymore.
I'm scared to leave my house. And then rock
up against them. One of the games he played for Palace was against Leeds. To which he ended up spectating. It was I watched a little snippet of it, and it was like one of the worst ever comebacks ever in football.
Really?
So in the first 4 minutes, he goes up for a header with a Leeds midfielder who clatters him. Yeah. He has to go off the pitch. He gets up and then falls over. He has to go off the pitch to get stitches. He comes back on after Leeds have scored. So he's playing for Palace. Palace are 1-0 down. He's not aware He then goes to close down a fullback who kicks the ball at his head. It basically knocks his bandage off. You see his bandage fly through the air. His head starts pissing with blood again. He then has to go and get it treated again, in which time Leeds score. He comes out. He goes back in at half time, and all the Palace players are looking dejected. There's booing in the stand, and he's going off with a great big grin on his face. He thinks it's 0-0 still. It's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
What a dick.
Yeah. 13. The fact that he played almost as many games for Palace in 6 months as he did in 2.5 years at Leeds shows how desperate Palace were.
Yeah, they were seriously desperate. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Okay, how can we top that? Okay, guys that are live, I'm pretty sure there's a fair amount of you that are Arsenal fans. Can the Arsenal fans just speak up real quick, because I have a fucking treat for you. A delight. Honestly, if you've had your dinner, this is the fucking dessert. And I just want to make sure you're all watching before you miss out, because you're going to love this. Okay, bollocks to you, I'm not waiting. I mean, if there's ever going to be a flop in the Premier League, it's this man. Roberto Soldado. We're just going to sit back and enjoy a few of his misses, lads. Don't worry. Here we go. Look, just oh dear. Oh dear.
To be fair,
look, another open goal. Oh dear.
From an Englishman's point of view,
look,
Soldado's quality.
Goal. He's got a tap in. Oh dear. Oh, but you can kick the post.
Soldado's quality is because of his shitness. Harry Kane got into the Tottenham team.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny to laugh at Soldado there. Come on.
Oh God, yeah. But it's another guy.
Look, another open goal. Hey, he misses again against Villa there, Neil. You'll like that one.
Yeah. Well, he was.
Do you know what? It was harder to hit the crossbar from here. Look. Jesus Christ.
I mean,
that's as bad as your man from Monday night. This one.
He is another one though.
Look,
brilliant. Before he got to Spurs,
he can't even pass the ball. Fuck me. Yeah, the thing is, he was fantastic before he was at Spurs. He was fantastic after he was at Spurs. But was he fantastic after Spurs? Yeah, he went to Villarreal and he turned it on again. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was nowhere near the player that he was when he was at Valencia. Yeah. But Pavlyuchenko was just as bad. No, Grant, Pavlyuchenko wasn't just as bad. I mean, that says it all. Look, can't even fucking score. Look, the goalkeeper's given up. And he hits the post. How good's that? Let's have a look. Oh, is this him over the free kick? Fuck me. Jesus Christ. Didn't he get one goal in 30 games or something? And that was a penalty. Ridiculous. He's okay. So let's skip on over to his Wikipedia. He was dreadful. Because I appreciate the Arsenal fraternity have probably lost their ribs, so might want to go chase them back from laughing so much. So he signed for 26 million to Tottenham. Yes, he was a bargain. 6 million in 2013. So we was talking about your man Boat. I'm going to get him mixed up again. Signing for Villa for a cool 6 million. 6 mil. Well, 2 seasons later, this man goes for 26 million. No. 2013. Oh, 2013. Fucking told you, I'm a spastic. 12 years later. 12 years later. 12 years later. Yeah. Okay, to be fair, either way, 26. To be fair, anything over 5 million for Spurs is a hefty amount. So. Yeah, serious money. Just making a signing. Yeah. Let's have a look. Soldado scored the only goal against relegation-threatened Cardiff City on the 2nd of March 2014. His first goal of the calendar year for Spurs. He netted just 6 times in his debut season, only 2 of which came from open play. Yeah. He was included in the Telegraph's website's list of the 10 worst buys of the Premier League season. And he was only in the top 10. The Telegraph, you need to look at yourselves, son. I'm going to go full Roy Keane on you. You Spurs fans, look at yourself. Seriously? Seriously? But yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, he scored a total of 7 goals in 52 Premier League starts across 3 seasons. Sorry, 2 seasons. He then went to Villarreal. He scored 9 in 38. So yeah, not a great return, but it was more than he got for Spurs in those 2 years.
More than he got for Spurs in 2 years, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, at Valencia, before he signed, in 3 seasons, he scored 59 goals. It was better than the goal every other game.
Yeah, and he was a youngster at Real Madrid, wasn't he? Was he at Madrid first?
Yeah, he was in their B team, in Real Madrid's B team over 4 seasons. He scored 63 goals in 120 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a pretty tidy little record. Tidy record till he arrived at Spurs for that cool 26 million. And just, I mean, you see some of the misses there, and I mean, it's a combination of a player that's low on confidence and just a player that's low on confidence. It's just it
just got worse and worse, didn't it, with every miss?
And I think he said himself, I was just trying too hard. I was just trying way too hard. I wasn't having good games. I was having bad games, and then I was just doing everything I could on the training pitch, in the gym. I was doing everything I could to try and improve and be better, and that's the wrong way to go when you're a striker. You act on instinct.
I'll be honest. Watching some of those misses, mate, he wasn't trying too hard. He wasn't trying at all.
No, I think he was. I think it got to the point where this has got to have happened to you. It's got to have happened to everyone who's played football. You're bearing down on goal 1-on-1 with the keeper, and you're thinking so hard. You're thinking, I've got to score this. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Am I going to take it round? Do I take the shot early? Do I go for a chip? Do I do this? Do I do that? What do I do? What do I do? And your mind just trips over itself. It's like trying to sprint downhill. Your mind just does that, and the first thing you do is you just hit it straight at the goalkeeper because you can't think straight. When you're a goal scorer, you're cold-eyed and you just put the ball in the back of the net. That's what Thierry Henry done better than any other player. Is when he was a throw-on goal, the ball's in the back of the net before even he thought about it. Before any other player, no other player in the world does that like Thierry Henry done that.
Yeah,
he put the ball in the back of the net easier than anyone has ever done in the history of football.
I think part of the problem there, though, with Soldado, you say it's part of the problem. What tends to happen with strikers when they get to that position? Well, yeah, that doesn't help. But when they get to that position and they're trying too hard, what they do is they drop in to get more involved in games, and then they're not in front of goal for the tapping. Yeah. He's always in front of goal for the tapping. But he misses every one of them, and it makes you wonder. Then,
yeah, but we were only seeing highlights, aren't we? I mean, we didn't see the rest of the game.
We are. But he's not scoring. We know that.
Yeah. I mean, but you could maybe say the opposite. Then you could say he was dropping in way too deep. So when he does get in front of goal, as you say, he's got no sharpness. He's just panicking. Yeah, he's just grabbing what he can. And he's snatching.
It does make you wonder though, because normally if that's the situation, it goes through training and everything else. I know if I've played badly, or if I played badly in a game, and then I'd go training, that's when I would then try a bit harder.
Yeah.
And it would either go for you or it wouldn't. If it didn't go for me, then I'd tend to go into the week after, and I'd almost try and go back to basics and just keep it simple. And if a chance comes, fair enough.
Well, that's what I mean.
If it doesn't, keep it simple.
I mean, and that's what most.
It makes you wonder when in training. But it makes you wonder in training if he's taking those chances. Because if he's not taking the chances in training as well, what the hell's going on? Why is he still playing?
Exactly. How the hell does he stay there? But I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know. But either way, I'm not trying to in any way vindicate the bloke. There were some bad misses. Seriously bad misses. I mean, if he'd put half of those away, he'd have doubled his goal tally.
I think, and as you say, you've only seen the highlights there. But that's over a 2-year period. I don't think you'll ever see a striker in the Premier League play that many games and miss that many sitters.
No.
In that space of time.
No.
You wouldn't expect a half decent striker to miss that many in their career.
No.
Like that.
No, that's shocking. Shockingly shit. Shockingly shit.
It is.
Okay, so go on.
Cool. There's one person we both completely missed.
Have we?
This.
No. And the chat's missed it too.
And
guys, what are you doing to us?
And actually, he also goes into our group of football's biggest cockheads.
Oh, does he? No way. You trying to tell me that Zlatan Ibrahimovic we've forgotten about him?
No, it's worse, mate. Worse.
No, it can't be
El Hadj
worse.
Diouf.
Damn, it is worse.
El Hadj Diouf.
Oh, he is a cock.
11 million quid Liverpool spent on him.
Ow.
Because he played a couple of decent games for Senegal
in a World Cup.
World Cup. And they binned off Nicolas Anelka to sign him instead.
Oh, man.
And he repaid them by gobbing at his own fans, gobbing at Steven Gerrard, who was his captain. Just the guy was a disgusting human being.
He was an
absolute flop and a cock.
I'll tell you what, I think I found a picture that sums it all up. No, sorry, go on, keep going. I
want to retract my shout for Bosco Balaban because he just never got a chance, and I want to. El Hadj Diouf 5 times.
Yeah, I mean,
it was only when you were talking about Liverpool flops, and he suddenly came in my head, and I wrote him down. I was like, oh my god.
I mean, to give you an idea, guys, of just what a human being he is, here is him celebrating with the Scottish League Cup.
What?
He looks like he's just won a fucking Grammy.
Who was he playing for? Rangers?
Rangers.
Jesus.
Look at him, look. You'd honestly think that he's just won the World Cup. But he's not. He's won... And let me get this straight. The Scottish League Cup.
With essentially one of only 2 teams at the time who would potentially win it. So...
Cooper's pretty sure that Diouf spat at him once. I think he spat at all of us, Coop.
Yeah.
I mean,
he spat
I really
so
hope
hard,
he's not in the UK at the minute with COVID.
Around, yeah. He did spit hard. He was a hawker.
He was A-grade hooker.
And he ended up at Bolton. I mean, Sam Allardyce signed him. I like Sam. I like Big Sam. He's signed some classy internationals.
What a boy.
Signed some classy internationals. El Hadj Diouf was not one of them.
Oh no, definitely not. No, 100%. Oh man, how do we forget him?
Oh.
What a cock! Oh man,
that's where we'll have to do football's biggest cocks. I mean, I've used mine in this. I'll have to. Dion Dublin.
That could go wrong, couldn't it? It's like a bit of rope.
Cool.
Oh man, I feel like we've cheated ourselves. We've just gone through that whole 10 and then we've just shat on it with El Hadj Diouf.
I know.
Actually, no, we just spat on it. Damn it.
Yeah, we gobbed all over.
Oh, fucking hell. God damn it, what have we done to ourselves? Okay, let's try and get this back on track.
Right, cool. Flops done.
Flops are done. The flops are out. On. We've all flopped out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wanted to get everyone's opinion. I want to get your opinion, Neil, because Grant made a very good point about us maybe deciding what we think has been the best Premier League goal. Basically based on our views, I suppose. I mean, but I think we come to a very quick conclusion that we can't decide.
No.
Oh, Zlatan would be on that list. Going back, Zlatan would 100%. He would be in the top 3 biggest cocks in football. He is a fucking cock. Sorry. I hate the bloke. Hate the bloke.
I like Zlatan.
Okay, well, we're not going to talk about that.
He wouldn't be on my list. Yeah.
So yeah, well, I mean, we both sort of said like we can't decide. I think it's. This is where like the mediums are doing like Facebook and Twitch is where we need to get people involved to help us choose some.
Yeah, I think if we decided, then essentially all it would be was us showreeling some really good goals, and that's not basically the point of it.
No.
The point is to get everybody else involved, isn't it? Yeah.
So, I mean, we sort of talked about maybe doing like a sort of knockout tournament of goals.
Yeah.
I think that's going to work. I like the idea of maybe just like we have
I agree.
We maybe have like a draw, maybe on Monday. So because we're not going to just do Premier League goals, it's going to be the BBC's voted goal of the season since the Premier League.
Yeah. So unfortunately, there will still be some fantastic goals not involved, but we just don't have the time to sit.
All of them, don't we? Like, All the ones
we just don't have the time to sit there and watch every goal that's ever been scored in the Prem and then rank it. You know, that would be a wonderful job, but...
Christ, yeah, we just have the time. Shit. I mean...
No, so...
Yeah. Maybe later on down the line. Who knows? Who knows where the show's going to go?
Maybe.
But, I don't know, you know... And this is where it's Van Persie versus Charlton. Is that for Arsenal? Okay.
And
Grant said he was going to come up with some shouts, so I want to see what he's got to say.
Equally, if Van Persie versus Charlton won goal of the season, then it will definitely be in the list.
Oh, that was his volley.
But if it didn't, it means... Yeah, I don't think it won goal of the season, did it?
That's a good question. Should we try and find out? I don't think it did actually that season, 2006.
Give me 2 secs. I'm also going to go and grab a tab so that I can see some bits separately.
Good shout, do it.
2 secs.
Do it. So we're just going to watch back that goal. This is a hell of a goal. I mean, the one thing about this is the technique, isn't it? Look at it. Oh, jeez. I mean, so many strikers, so many players. If we was down the park trying to bang that in the back of the net, we'd just try and absolutely leather it and hit it as hard as we can, but it's just all about getting a good connection. And I remember when he very first scored that goal, I remember watching it on Match of the Day and thinking, nah, it's come off his shin. It wasn't a great goal, but geez, that was a hell of a goal. Let's try and pull up the BBC's goal of the season, and we'll have a quick run through them. The Van Persie goal against Spain in the World Cup, that was insane. I've never seen a header like that, but I mean, his goal against Aston Villa, we'll say it while Neil's not here, because we can rip on Aston Villa, but I mean, Christ. Yeah, the way he just guides it onto his foot, like I say, so many players would just try and absolutely lash it, but he didn't. He just stroked it into the back of the net. It was a hell of a goal. Goal of the season, BBC
Apologies,
goal of the season.
Because I can't really see stuff on the screen, so...
Okay, no worries. We've just watched back the Van Persie goal, his volley. And that was 2006.
Yeah.
So, no, the goal of the season... Okay, the 2005-2006 goal of the season is one of the very few FA Cup goals that was included, and that is where is it? Steven Gerrard's goal against West Ham in the FA Cup final.
In the final,
yeah,
understandable.
Which, yeah, I mean,
absolute banger.
You can kind of get that. And then 2006-2007 was Wayne Rooney against Bolton Wanderers. Don't actually remember that goal.
Yep. Rooney won it 3 times.
Yeah, he's won it the most times. I think I'm right in saying.
Yeah.
And Jack Wilshere's the only person to have won it 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, yeah. But they reckon that was a fix. One of them.
Yeah, the second one he scored against West Brom on the last day of the season.
Yeah, West Brom. Yeah, and it was a sudden surge of votes. Yeah, sudden surge of votes by Arsenal fans.
Matty Taylor's goals. I know. How did Matty Taylor never win a goal of the season? He scored some bangers.
The one for Portsmouth, he scored from the halfway.
Unreal.
That was
unreal. But he scored some other absolute worldies as well.
Yeah, but then equally, some of the younger guys, Grant included in this, wouldn't have seen some of the ones from the 90s, and there are the early 90s. Some of the goals in the goal of the season there
is insane.
Yeah, pace, power, and then what a finish.
Matty Taylor. There's a video up here that comes up, and you'll see the. I don't know if you can see that. The name of the video is The Legendary Whacker. That's a hell of a name, isn't it? That sounds like the sort of thing you'd do when no one's watching.
Or when people are watching, depending on who you are.
Yeah. This is it, look. Oh, smash.
Because,
jeez.
I think it is just a wallop.
42 metres, yeah.
Because there's an early one that Jason Funboy Cundy scores for Spurs.
Now he sounds like the sort of bloke that performs in a gay bar.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, he scores for Spurs, but it's essentially a tackle on the halfway line.
Yeah,
and he just loops all the way up and over, and it doesn't win goal of the season, but it's in it, and it's like, guy, there's no intention to score.
No, I mean that's like including some of the goalkeepers ones, isn't it?
Yeah, Yeah, it's get the ball as far up the pitch as you can.
Yeah, he's just putting
Which
his
one's
foot
that?
through
Is
it.
that Charlie
That's
Adams?
Charlie Adams, yeah.
He didn't win either, did he?
No, well, I mean, that's the year that Wilshere won it.
Second Wilshere, yes.
And you can see him, he was ripping on Peter Crouch there, so I quite like that.
Yeah.
But at least with that, he's meant it. It's like that was a really bad pass to Maran BM Doof. But
to be fair, Maran BM Doof made most passes look bad.
I think that might have been a crossfield pass, you know. Yeah, I joke.
No, the keeper's off the line. He's gone for that one.
Yeah, he meant that. See, this is the thing, is but we can't include these.
No, but then I think that's you look at the goals that did win. Apart from the Wilshere one, I don't think there's any questions.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. I mean, looking down, I mean, there's some incredible goals. I'm a bit, I don't know. Emmanuel Adebayor won one. I don't remember that.
Did he?
Yeah. 2007-2008 season against Tottenham. So maybe why then? The old Arsenal fans out in force again. Damn it.
Bergkamp versus Newcastle, I don't think is a winner, but Bergkamp versus Leicester. Oh no, Bergkamp versus Newcastle may have been, but Bergkamp versus Leicester definitely is.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Okay, this is the Adebayor goal. Really?
Took it on his chest and then turned and volley. Is that one?
I don't know. I think he flicks it up.
Yeah.
No. Really? It must have been a poor year for goals, because it's just a volley, isn't it? I mean, it's no different than the... Everyone bangs on about the Yeboah goal, and that's no different.
Yeah. I think he's got a bit more control over the ball than Yeboah had.
Yeah, I suppose like he sort of feints a step back, doesn't he, and control it, and then knocks it forward. I think he meant that, but...
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one of them. But... Okay.
So how are we going to work this then? Are we going to do a draw for all of the winners from 92-93 season through to last season? Or are we going to do the 90s, the noughties, and
I say we do the whole lot. I think we should do the whole lot. I think we should just get every single goal through from 92-93. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 28. But then that leaves us with an uneven number, doesn't it? We sort of need 4 more. So you need 32.
Or 4 less don't work, does it? 32.
Okay, actually, but having said that, oh shit, I was gonna say we could have put, because there's 4 FA Cup goals in there, so I was gonna see whether we could find like.
Is there only 4?
Yeah, 4. So whether we could, don't know, try and find out what was the Premier League goal of the season for those 4 seasons, but I don't know how we're gonna do that.
There wouldn't have been a Premier League goal of the season. They would have just done that one.
BBC,
so then we would have to then look and then choose which one we thought was the best one of the years that they then won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, means that we could include the Van Persie goal, the volley. Because
which year was that?
That was shunned. That was 2006. So that was knocked out because of the Gerrard goal in the FA Cup.
Okay, well, it works for me. I'm happy to do it. I mean, obviously the Trevor Sinclair one in the 90s was an FA Cup goal.
Yeah, that has to go in.
That was an FA Cup goal, so I don't know. And then obviously Giggs for Man U against Arsenal was an FA Cup goal.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay, so if we pick 4 goals, so should we say just those years, or like 4 that we've added, like 4 goals, like maybe 2 each that like we want to include that aren't in this 28? What do you think? Because I mean, there's some great shouts coming in on the chat, but like, they weren't in those years. So, could we maybe just pick 4 that didn't win, that the chat has suggested?
We can.
I'm thinking that's more fair.
Open it up to the. Yeah. So come on in, guys.
What would you pick?
What
would you pick?
What
shouting, goals
you're shouting
that haven't
about...
won goal of the season do you want? That you want us to include in our fantasy goal? And what we'll do is when we got 32, is we're gonna have like a Champions League draw, and we're gonna pit 16 goals against each other.
Yeah.
And then during the shows over the next coming weeks, we're gonna show 3 face-offs, if you will, per show, and then the chat votes on who wins.
Yeah.
Out of those goals, which one's better?
And we live in hope that we have an odd number of people in the chat.
Yep.
Otherwise, that could.
Otherwise, you get 3 votes each, and it's like, oh shit. We can't exactly put it to a vote between us, can we?
No, it defeats the object.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Grant's gone with Grant. You've shouted Bergkamp versus Newcastle. Let's have a quick look and see where those winners were and who they were. So,
give me 1 second, I'll be back.
Cool. So, Premier League goal of the season winners. So, Grant, Dennis Bergkamp, his goal against Newcastle did win. George Ronaldo free kick versus Portsmouth isn't in there. So we've got, essentially, there's Coop, Grant and George on there. If you guys want to think about what your favourite goal was, if it's not been a goal of the season winner, then we can include it. And then essentially me and Sean can then pick one between us, and that will make up the 4th one. So you've all shouted numerous goals. Which one would you like to be included within this?
Okay. Yeah, Ronaldo.
So what I've just said, Sean, is...
Yep.
What I've just said, Sean, is if George, Grant... No, that's already that one goal of the season, Grant. Pick one that potentially hasn't.
Okay.
So I've said to Grant, George, and Coop, if they each pick their favourite goal, if it hasn't one goal of the season, it will then be included.
3 Arsenal supporters. This is going to end up like the Wilshere vote.
Yeah, I
joke.
They've got nothing else to vote for. I mean, Wilshere versus Norwich has been shouted for straight away, so it's already gone.
Is Fabio on the chat? Fabio,
and then
can
I
you
said
think
we would then pick one. I don't know if Fabs is still on.
Okay. Include the Van Persie volley against Charlton.
You kept picking. Yeah, cool.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, you kept talking about players that had been at Benfica and slating them. So
yeah,
Fabio's gone.
Oh, sorry about that, Fabs. I didn't mean to upset you. What can I say?
So Van Persie volley's in there.
Yeah,
Ronaldo's free kick versus Portsmouth. Yeah, that was a banger.
That was hell of a goal. Okay, we need 2 more.
I like that David James has been the beaten goalkeeper a few times on these goals of the season. It does make him then look like a better goalkeeper, and he was only ever beat by worldies.
Yeah, but that's not the case, let's be honest.
We all know it's not true. No, we all know that's not true.
It doesn't take much to confuse that bloke.
Nah. Coop, you still here? No, Grant, one. You've picked.
Now. He's throwing out bangers, but...
Don't get greedy.
You're only allowed to choose one.
Yeah. Drogba's chest and then turn volley was absolute...
I was going to say, that was better than the Adebayor one.
It was.
I'm choosing Ronald's free kick. I prefer Ronald, George. Cristiano Ronald? Or Chris Ronald? Is that his adopted English name?
Yeah, Chrissy Ronald.
Oh, what a boy!
Terry Henry and Chrissy Ronald.
Terry Henry.
I'll tell you what, there's some goals from goal of the season winners over the last few years that I don't even remember.
No.
So,
I can't.
Dele Alli, Emre Can. I'm guessing Vardy's was the volley
kick, wasn't it?
Over the top. Oh yeah, of course it was. Yeah, I can't believe. Oh no, it is there. I couldn't believe that Rooney's overhead kick against Man City wasn't there, but it was 2010, 2011.
Yeah. No, that had to be on there. That was such a goal. I know. I don't know. Sean Bartlett winning it as well. Jeez, I don't even remember that goal.
Yeah.
Don't remember that at all.
Safri. Oh, Safri did score an absolute banger for Norwich, didn't he? Can you remember who it was against, Coop? I mean, he didn't score many goals, so find it versus Newcastle. Because he didn't score many for Norwich, so finding it would be fairly straightforward. Can't believe we haven't got anyone going for the Tetty goal a couple of years ago.
That's the point.
Was that in the Prem though? Or was that? Yeah, it must have been. David Luiz versus Fulham. George is getting excited as well.
He is, mate. I mean, all the goals are coming out now. There's plenty of X-rated Wazzers coming out here.
There are. Go on in. Say two more, Grant. But are we going with the Van Persie volley as your choice?
Yeah, Grant, which one would you want, dude? You got to pick one.
Ramsey versus Fulham. Put that video up and you'll thank me.
Well, I don't know. I mean, do we want to watch the Safri goal first? Because, I mean, this is a banger.
It is a banger.
That's what picks up. Look. Top bin.
Look at that. That's an absolute spank. I don't think he expected it, did he?
He even beat Shay
Against Shay Given as well. Decent keeper. Little keeper though, isn't he? Get it high. Get it over him.
Oh, look at the swaz on that. It's got Sam Rick swaz on it.
Moving everywhere, isn't it? Moving everywhere.
Ramsey versus Fulham.
I might change and say Ramsey. What is this? In case you've seeing it, it's better than you remember.
Is it the one away at Fulham? That's what I want to know. I found a video.
This is where you find out that Ramsey scored his most amount of Premier League goals against Fulham, and he got 7 of them to go for us.
Probably loads. No, it can't have been this game. Surely not. Oh, okay, maybe it is. Okay. I know the one you're on about now. Okay. He was right behind the goal. Oh, what? For Safri's goal?
Right behind that goal. For a minute, I misread that and I was thinking Coop was playing centre back for Norwich.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the goal. Nods it on. Played around the corner. Cheeky little flick. It's a bit naughty, isn't it?
Yeah. He scored a better one, which was in the Champions League.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know. The build-up play was okay, but...
Yeah. I think the Wilshere versus Norwich goal is a better one.
I think the Van
Persie volley
is better.
Grant, it's a good goal. It's a good goal, but